Right guys, here it is, week 6 of 52 and the perfect Valentine's dessert for you, Soufflé. Now, it is a bit of a science, I'm not going to lie to you, but I look like no Einstein, so I can assure you, me and you, we're going to get this right. You get this right on Valentine's Day, I can assure you your partner will be talking about you for the rest of the year. Get it wrong, look for yourself another Valentine's next year. The thing we need to get on with is greasing those moulds. Really simple, all we need is some nice softened butter and some caster sugar. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So all we're going to do is take us nice softened butter and just grease his mould. And in the fashion that we want to do it in is, when we're greasing his mould, we want a nice grease up, like little vertical lines rising up, which is going to help our souffle rise. So I've greased all my moulds now. All I'm going to do is put some caster sugar into the moulds. And then just roll the caster sugar round. And as you roll it round, straight into the next one. So, got a nice greased mould full of caster sugar, and this is a real thing that you need to get right at the beginning. This is going to make all the difference, and just repeat the process through all your greased moulds. Right, so my moulds are all beautifully greased and lined with caster sugar. We're just going to pop them straight in the fridge for 5 minutes to help that butter set up so it doesn't keep on melting when I can get it in the fridge. There we go. Right, so souffle really is a labour of love, and you put that labour in and you will get the love out of it. But I've got to show you something. It's all about weights and measures. Get them wrong and forget about it. So here we go, here's the first measurement. We want 117 grams of milk. To that, we want 1 vanilla pod. We just split down the middle and straight in. So we'll split the vanilla pod down. Into there, and we just want to warm that up gently. Just bring it up. As soon as that first bubble comes up, as if it's about to boil, we're going to take it straight off. That's the first stage done. Right, so the next step is making a bemaniere. Not a traditional bemaniere, but a bemaniere that we're going to use to do this souffle. And all it is 12 grams of corn flour and 12 grams of butter. And we just want to add the butter to the corn flour and bring it together so it's almost like a paste. And all that's going to do is help stabilise the souffle and help thicken our creme patissiere. So as soon as that's done, and almost looks like a breadcrumb consistency, that's done. Put it to one side and we'll come back to it. I'm going to make a pastry cream. My milk is brought up to the boil. I've now got 187 grams of egg yolk and 234 grams of sugar. We're going to add the sugar to this egg yolk, and this is where you hope that you've been to the gym for a while, because we're going to start whisking. And there's a lot of whisking, guys. What we want to do is get this looking like blonde, a blonde colour rather than a yellow colour. So whisk, 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 whisk. As soon as you can lift your whisk up and make a figure of 8 into your sabayon, or your pastry cream, as we call it, we can add a touch of his milk. Only a touch. And that's going to help just get the eggs used to the warmth. If we don't do that, they will scramble. So in with a touch, and then in with the rest. Vanilla pod and all. Get that flavour in there. Whisk again. Whisk in. And then back in to the pan. Now we're going to get this over to the hob and get on a really low heat. I'm going to keep going until this thickens up. Right, so we're going to be here about 5 minutes whisking this until we get to the right consistency. So just keep it moving at all times, otherwise it'll catch very, very easily. So the best thing to do is just stand over it like a hawk and watch it and keep whisking. Right, so I've just added my corn flour and butter mixture, which is going to help it stabilise and start to thicken. Basically, what we're trying to make here is a really thick custard. Right, so as you can see, as I'm whisking, I can see the bottom of the pan, which means the custard has thickened and I'm whisking faster than it gives it chance to settle back down. And this is about the ideal stage where you want to be. So, 1 more minute and off the stove. And now, as you see the consistency, and off. So as soon as your thick custard has come off the stove, we're going to transfer it into a cold bowl, and that's going to stop the cooking of those eggs. Place that to one side, and we're going to go on with the next stage. Let's put as pastry cream, or as thick custard as we'll call it, to one side. The top tip is put a piece of cling film on top of it, and it stops it creating a skin. Just put that down and place to one side. Right, so the next stage, and I promise you we are nearing the end for that final bake, it is now about the meringue, a French meringue. So all I've got is 135 grams of egg whites and 67 grams of sugar. The key thing in this is not to add the sugar at the beginning. We're going to add it as we whisk. And with the meringue we want a nice soft peak, a beautiful shiny meringue. So again, it's a lot of whisking, but we're going to get on with it. So here we go. So start whisking. When we get to that stage, we'll add a quarter of a sugar. And the reason behind this is so we distribute the sugar nice and evenly round the meringue. And then start whisking again. Again, get to a certain stage, and another quarter. Then our third quarter. Then our fourth and final quarter. And now just keep whisking until we reach that stage of a nice soft shiny peak. So it's a good idea to change hands once one arm starts aching. I tell you, it's a lot of whisking, but keep going, it will be worth it. And just to show you, look at that. So now as egg whites and as meringue's done, we're on to the next stage. So a key part now in the souffle, which a lot of people think that you shouldn't do. A lot of people think when they're making souffles you can't breathe, you can't talk, you can't this. But what we're going to do is we're going to add a quarter of this meringue mixture into as creme patissiere, as thick custard, or as pastry cream. I've called it a few different things throughout this video. Believe me, they're all the same things, just different terminology. and we're going to whisk that through. And this is going to prevent any lumps in our souffle. So that's the first quarter whisked through. The next 3/4 of the mix we're going to fold through. And a really important thing when folding meringue through pastry cream is outside and in, outside and in. It's going to build up them air bubbles and help that souffle rise. So straight in with our meringue. Make sure you get it all in. And then start working it through nice and evenly so it's all contrasted lovely and beautifully together, and outside and in. And when we get to that stage, as you can see, we've got this beautiful aerated mix that is just going to rise perfectly in the oven for your Valentine on Valentine's Day. Let's get to the last stage and bake this beauty off. Another top tip when making soufflés is to transfer your mix into a piping bag, which is going to guarantee you when you pipe your mix into those moulds, no air bubbles and the perfect even layers that are going to help that soufflé rise even more. Right, so if you've never used a piping bag before, straightforward, nothing to worry about. Use your left hand to guide where you're piping and your right hand to pipe. Fairly straightforward, nothing really to show you. Let me show you how to pipe these soufflés and then let's get them in the oven. Right, so we're just going to pipe up until we've filled and just keep bringing your piping bag up. And then the next one. And you see how it fills nice and evenly. That's beautiful. And then traditionally, as always, with a soufflé, if you've got a palette knife, use a palette knife. If you don't have a palette knife, use a knife. Just flatten it down, scrape that soufflé off. And again, with the second one. With your thumb, just run your thumb around the edge of the mould. And then the second one. Now they are ready for that all important bake. Right, so I put a hot tray in my oven. It's set at 165 degrees. There's only one thing for it now, is to put the soufflés in. And then we say a little prayer to the soufflé gods. Please. So my soufflés have been in now about 8 minutes, and I just want to take this time just to explain to you, look, soufflés are a great thing to do. They're not the easiest thing to do in the world, no matter what anybody tells you. If you want to do this recipe, make sure you watch this video over a couple of times. I am talking you through it from stage 1 right to the very end. Follow this recipe to the absolute T and I can assure you, you will get results like this. So the soufflé gods have answered my prayers and I can assure you my soufflés look absolutely beautiful in the oven. I'm going to take them out now and show you them. And look at them. But just to finish, put them straight on to that. A little dusting of icing sugar. A few little blackberries. And there we go. Valentine's Day done, guys. I can assure you, if you get this one right, you will still have the same Valentine next year. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.